XconMedia.
Welcome to the channel. Welcome to XconMedia, man. Appreciate you tapping in. Starting off a little late tonight. Had to start off a little late because my day job went a little long today. But I appreciate you for tapping in. I got to keep it consistent Thursday night around 8 Eastern Central Standard Time. And we're going to be talking about a little bit today. I'm going to get right to it. There was another shooting down in Florida, a mass shooting. So we are going to get into it. The story is developing as in a couple hours ago. And we're just going to jump right into it, man. And we're going to talk about it a little bit. But if you're new here, please like, comment, subscribe, share the video out, man. I'm trying to quit my day job. I could have been on time if I ain't have a day job. So the more you like and share, the more it gets my numbers up where I need to be so I can go ahead on and talk to y'all on time. Let's go.
Now here at CBS News 24/7, you were just listening to our partners from CBS News Miami, the latest to come out of that shooting at Florida State University. We know 6 people injured. We're told 1 person is in critical condition, the others in serious condition. Right now, I want to bring in Ryan Cedergran. He is a student at Florida State University, just to get much more from him about what happened. Ryan, first off, I'm sorry that this happened at your campus. I just kind of want to know what happened in the moments that all of this unfolded. What do you know? What are you hearing from friends?
Yeah, I was in the student union at the time and in the bowling alley. And so our student union, there's the main floor and then there's the lower level. The bowling alley is on the lower level. And the lower level has a bowling alley, and then we have doors, and then next to it is a bar. And the bar is open to the entire union, where there's no doors. It's just kind of an open space. And all of a sudden, everyone in the bar area started running. And that was when we all kind of were like, this isn't normal. This isn't right. We need to go do something.
And so, Ryan, I just want to be clear here. You were in that student union building, because we're hearing that the shooting happened either around there or inside that building. So you were in that building at the time? I
was, yes.
And so did you hear any gunshots, or you just saw students running and decided, okay, there's something going on here?
Yeah, I didn't hear any gunshots. My first instinct was something's not right here, and we need to, go shelter somewhere, because everyone immediately running is not normal.
Yeah. And Ryan, where are you right now? Were you able to get out of that student union building and head back to somewhere else on campus? Where are you?
I'm back in my apartment now, yes.
And have you heard anything from your friends? We know several people, sadly, have been injured in this. One of them is in critical condition. Have you heard anything from your friends? Anyone that you're concerned about right now?
I mean, off the top of my head, I don't know of any friends that were in the building at the time. But I do know that, we just went and protected ourselves. And I've had so many people reaching out to me, because the student union, I work in the student union. I spent a lot of time there, and I wasn't on shift at the time, but I was, just hanging out there along with a lot of other people at the time. It's the hub of campus. It's a union.
And Ryan, I completely hate to say this, because oftentimes we hear about school shootings, whether it's at a university or high school, elementary, and you just imagine, well, that sounds super far away and that will never happen to me. I want to know what's going through your head right now. How are you feeling after all this?
Yeah, it's some of it's a state of shock. There's that going on, and then there's shock. There's gratitude. I could not be more grateful for being here, and then also for the first responders, the Florida State University Police, the Tallahassee Police. I was calm, I think, throughout most of it. There were people around me that were panicking, but I just was like, I trust that Florida State Police is going to be here within a matter of moments, and just do what I can and now to be safe, and then just wait for police to come help us out.
Ryan, can you take me back to that moment? I know you said you saw, it sort of just sounded like commotion. You didn't hear any gunshots, but you saw people running out. What did you guys do? Did you run out of the building, or were you hoping that maybe police officers would show up and tell you guys what to do next?
We immediately hid. We first hid in the billiards room of the bowling alley, which is glass. It's open to the front, but it's kind of around the corner. So we were able to kind of almost put another wall between us and the outside, but it was also glass. So once we saw police get down to the lower level was when we went and hid further behind the bowling machines, which, has doors that we're able to lock. And then it was probably about 10, 15 minutes until the police came and escorted us out of the building.
Okay, so if I'm hearing you correctly, you guys did not run out of the building. You ran somewhere else to shelter in place and waited for police officers to come lead you out of the building.
We did not. Yeah, we did not know what was going on. So in the moment, we were just like, we know we're safe here. Let's protect ourselves first, and then go from there.
And can you talk to me about the security situation at that union building? Because typically, of course, you have police on campus. Most campuses have police officers, but that building, do you typically see security officers around the place roaming?
There are police around a good bit of the time. It's not always, but it's a good bit of the time that we'll see them just going in and out of the union. And then we, the headquarters for the police is minutes away. It's in a hub of campus. So they're, if they're not in the building, they were, close enough to the building. And it was within, a few minutes, I believe, that they were on scene. And I'm just so grateful to them.
Yeah. And Ryan, I know you posted on X right after this happened. What did you say there? And what, I suppose, what made you feel the need to, express yourself about what you were going through? We're looking at that post right now.
It was just, I'm so grateful to be safe, and just to let people, my friends and family, know that I am safe and I'm okay. And, it was just, a moment of like, I can't thank FSU police
and so much for joining us. I know this was a very, very difficult situation for you. We really appreciate it. Right now, Lindsay Reiser's next. Stay with us here.
April 18th. Essential employees should check with their supervisors for further reporting instructions. All FSU athletic events in Tallahassee are canceled through Sunday. At approximately 11:50 a.m. Thursday, April 17th, a gunman opened fire on the main campus of Florida State University in Tallahassee, shooting multiple individuals in the vicinity of the Student Union building. FSU police responded immediately, engaged, neutralized, and apprehended the shooter. 2 victims of the deceased are deceased, and 5 individuals have been transported to a local hospital with gunshot wounds. The shooter has also been transported to a local hospital. The 2 deceased are not students. The shooter is believed to be a current FSU student. I do not have additional information on the shooter's identity at this time. Students who need assistance can go to the Donald L. Tucker Center, where the university is providing counseling, healthcare, and other support services. Family members are also able to go to the Tucker Center for assistance. Students, faculty, and staff are asked to call their loved ones as soon as possible to update them on their status. The student union and the surrounding area is still considered an active crime scene. Individuals should avoid the area. Students should not return to the student union to retrieve personal property at this time. Students may return to their residence halls, but they should otherwise stay indoors on main campus to allow first responders and university staff to do their jobs and respond to those needing assistance. Students may depart campus for the weekend. All classes have been canceled through Friday. Before I turn this over to Chief Revel, I want to thank all the brave men and women of the FSU PD for responding immediately to the scene. I also want to thank the responding agencies who have provided assistance to FSU today big time, including the Tallahassee Police Department, the Leon County Sheriff's Office, the Florida Highway Patrol, Leon County Emergency Medical Services, FDLE, and all other responding agencies today. We really appreciate your support. That's all the information I have at this time. We'll have additional update for you later today. Chief Rebel.
Good afternoon. I am Chief Revel with the Tallahassee Police Department. As the shooting occurred today, our officers, as well as every single other officer in this city and county, responded immediately to this scene. Once on scene and once we began working through what was occurring and what we were working in consultation with FSU, Tallahassee Police Department was asked to take lead on this. So we will be the lead for this investigation in both the officer involved shooting portion of this as well as the homicide portion of this. I will come up after the last speaker and entertain just a few questions, but needless to say, we have multiple crime scenes. This is a very large area we're covering. We have thousands, hundreds of thousands, or hundreds or thousands of witnesses. And again, this is an active, ongoing investigation. So the information that we will be allowed to release right now may be fairly limited. I'll answer what I can at that time. But I will assure you that as soon as we can, any information that becomes available, we will make that available to you. One of the things in the process, and again, understand that this is an ongoing active investigation. So things are happening as we are standing here and as we are speaking. We have identified the shooter, obviously. He's at the hospital. So with more on that, I'm going to allow the sheriff to come up and speak on that portion of it.
Thank you, Chief. As Chief Rowell indicated, I'm Walt McNeil, Leon County Sheriff. First and foremost, let me express our gratitude to the responding law enforcement agencies in this community. Our citizens should feel some degree of comfort knowing that your law enforcement agencies are going to respond and do exactly what we did in this case, that is bring the offender to justice and to make sure that we do what we can to make sure we lock him or her up. Let me say to you, this is obviously a heinous crime. Our deepest condolences go out to the FSU family, the families of the students who are here. And we understand that you all have been devastated because of this person's actions. The question as it relates to who is the shooter is 20-year-old Phoenix Eichner. And he's the son of a Leon County Sheriff deputy. Our Deputy Eichner has been with the Leon County Sheriff's Office for over 18 years. She has a tremendous job that she's done. Her service to this community has been exceptional. Unfortunately, her son had access to one of her weapons, and that was one of the weapons that was found at the scene. And we will continue that investigation into how that weapon was used and what other weapons perhaps he may have had access to. The alleged shooter was also a long-standing member of the Leon County Sheriff's Office Citizen Advisory or Youth Advisory Council. So he has been steeped in the Leon County Sheriff's Office family, engaged in a number of training programs that we have. So it's not a surprise to us that he had access to weapons. This event is tragic in more ways than you people in the audience could ever fathom from a law enforcement perspective. But I will tell you this, we will make sure that we do everything we can to prosecute and make sure that we send a message to folks that this will never be tolerated here in Leon County, and I dare say across this state and across this nation. Thank you. Let me bring up the FBI Assistant Special Agent in charge, Hubert Reynolds.
Good afternoon. My name is Hubert Reynolds, and I'm the acting special agent in charge of the Jacksonville field office. I want to echo those standing with me what a horrific crime this is, and we stand with you fully. We have an office here in Tallahassee, and we are fully engaged with providing any resources that we can bring to bear to help with this investigation moving forward. We've established a digital tips media line where you can upload photos, videos prior to and during the incident. If you're there from social media, please upload all of that. I will give you now the website address. You can upload any tips to www.fbi.gov/FSU shooting. Again, that's www.fbi.gov/FSU shooting. I want to assure you that we are going to bring every available resource to be able to help the community and the local people here. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Richard McCullough, Rick McCullough, president of Florida State University. This is a tragic day for Florida State University. We're absolutely heartbroken by the violence that occurred on our campus earlier today. 2 have died. 5 other innocents are being treated for their injuries. We're working to support the victims, their families, and everyone affected by this traumatic event. I just returned from the hospital. The First Lady and I met some of our students who were the victims. Our hearts go out to our students and the victims of this terrible tragedy. I have to say that our law enforcement, our FSU police officers, absolute heroes in this regard. The call went out, someone called it in, and immediately they responded to the scene and immediately neutralized the suspect and prevented this from being a bigger tragedy. I want to thank them so much for what they do to try to keep our students safe. I want to thank all the law enforcement partners, FSU Police, Tallahassee Police, Leon County Sheriff's Department, Florida Highway Patrol, and Florida Department of Law Enforcement, and all other responding agencies for their rapid and courageous response. I want to thank everybody that came out to visit with the students and help us, and to be here today for this press conference. And I appreciate so much the support that you're all providing to our university and to our students. We're fully cooperating with the investigation, and we defer to law enforcement as they continue their work. I'd also like to thank all the healthcare providers at Tallahassee Memorial Hospital. They're treating and providing outstanding care to our victims. Right now, our top priority is safety and well-being for all the people in our campus. As it was said, classes are canceled on the main campus today and tomorrow, and all FSU athletics events on Tallahassee are canceled through Sunday. We also want to tell you that counseling and psychological services are available to students, faculty, and staff, and anyone that needs that should call 850-644-2003. We're also providing support for faculty and staff through our employee assistance program. And so if you need any help, please reach out. We'll continue to communicate with the campus community.
Shooting, were any of them members of law enforcement, whether it be the—
No, they were not. They were not. Yes, sir.
When law enforcement arrived, did the suspects engage with them, or did he surrender immediately?
No, they challenged him and ended up shooting. He did not comply with commands and was shot.
Did he fire officers?
I do not believe he fired at officers.
We've heard that Phoenix may be autistic. Are you able to confirm that detail?
I do not have that detail.
Is there an idea of the victims yet?
I'm sorry?
An idea of the victims?
We're not releasing any of the victim information at this time.
Was the officer aware of any behavioral conditions or concerns or threats prior to this incident?
We were not.
How quickly did officers arrive on scene from the 911 call to when they engaged the suspect?
We will get you that information. I don't have that currently. I assume that would be a question that was asked, but I mean, it was almost immediately. that FSU, obviously this is their campus, and they patrol it very well. So they were on scene almost immediately, engaged almost immediately. And then everyone else, again, was a massive, very quick response.
I know that you said that the 2 deceased were not students. Do we know of those 5 that were injured or any of them students?
Again, we're not releasing any information on the students on the victims at this point.
What firearms did he use?
I'm sorry?
What kind of firearm was he using?
It was a handgun.
What kind of handgun?
I don't know what type of handgun that was. It was probably a 40. I don't know.
Chief, I heard it reported that a shotgun was also recovered on campus. Was that used in the shooting?
We do know that he had a shotgun with him. We have not confirmed anyone was shot with a shotgun at this point. But again, that could change as there are hundreds and hundreds of witnesses. And as we piece all of this back together, information will come to light that we may not have at this point. So I do not believe so at this point.
We'll take one more question. Will body cam footage of radio dispatch or any logs be released in the near future?
I'm sorry, say again.
Will there be any body cam footage or radio dispatch logs or incident reports being released anytime soon?
We will work with the state attorney's office, which we always do, in pulling together all the information, all the investigative evidence from this case, and in collaboration with State Attorney Campbell, we will make that determination. Obviously, after the case is over, we will certainly, it all becomes available at that point. But as to what we can and will release at that point, like I said before, we're very open, transparent on these things. Again, the officers did an incredible job. But again, some of this is very horrific. This is a horrific incident. And so we will, again, collaborate with the state attorney's office and determine which of that evidence could be released or will not be released. But again, I'll let you know that as soon as we make that determination. So thank you all very much. Appreciate you being here. And just let me reiterate what's already been said. The collaboration between
Yeah, and there you have it, man. If you're just now joining in, a shooting at Florida State University. As a country, we have seen this time and time again. We have seen it time and time again, and it's a very sad situation. There are a lot of problems in this country that need to be worked out. There's a lot of issues as a country, as a whole. We have a lot of issues, man. And we need to be able to get to the bottom of this stuff. As you heard, it's the son of a deputy, police officer, anything. So, man, this is tragic. Condolences to the family and the victims involved. This is bad. But if anybody knows in the comments, like, what's the solution? Why do we keep going through this day in and day out from time to time in our country? And it's always 9 times out of 10. I'm gonna tell you what the common denominator is. Not all of the time, but most of the time, this is occurring in gun-free zones. Let that sink in. Let that sink in for a minute. 9 times out of 10. Well, I won't say 9 times out of 10 because that's not the right statistic, but lots of times it has been shown that these horrific acts are going on in gun-free zones. So it's easy for people to say, well, we're going to go to Congress and, we're going to try to get laws enacted and laws. I need y'all to understand and know, I don't care what law you put in place. That is not the answer. I don't care what law. As you can see, he wasn't even old enough to go in. I don't know what Florida law is. Florida got some of the toughest laws in the South, but I'm not sure exactly what their law is. But as you can see, he was 20 years old and he got access to a firearm. Okay. He still got access to a firearm, even though it was against the law. So people, when y'all be on Capitol Hill and running to Congress and talking to you senators and all this stuff about trying to pass gun laws, that is not working. That is not going to work. That is not the answer. And that's why we keep having this problem. I need y'all to really feel that more gun laws is not going to solve this problem. We have a big mental health problem in this country. Major mental health problem in this country. We got anger management issues in this country. Those are the things, because the firearms definitely don't pick themselves up and shoot them. It's the people behind the firearms. It's the anger. It's the mental health issues, man. That is the problem. And that's what needs to be addressed, not more gun laws. As we already been seeing, California, New York, Connecticut, Illinois, New Jersey, Hawaii, stuff is still going on. And really, when you think about it, those are like, that's gangland. Those territories are gangland, man. And they got the hardest, strictest laws in the country, yet they still got gangland out there. Criminals don't care about the law. That's why trying to address laws and everything, and trying to make laws saying, oh, you can't have this and you can't have that, it does not work. That's not the answer. That is not the answer. Again, it's mental health, it's anger management issues. The school system is failing, whether you like it or not. Trump doing away with Department of Education was big. It was big because they're not teaching anything anyway. So I was on board with that. But yeah. So condolences to the people involved at the FSU shooting. It's a sad situation, and it's happening again for the millionth time in this country. And they're steady trying to pass laws, and laws don't work. People that want to break the law do not care about what laws you go into Congress with. You are simply disarming law-abiding citizens, because don't nobody care about a law but a law-abiding citizen. So that needs to be addressed. I was gonna get into another story out of Miami a couple of weeks ago. Now, if you recall, in January, first or second week of January, a MARTA bus driver lost his life. And you know, that's kind of near and dear to me, because I drove for MARTA for 2 years in the height of the pandemic. So I know the day-to-day struggles in public transportation. I went through it. I've had extensive de-escalation training. Everybody know I've been to prison. If I could survive around people, known killers, known convicted killers, if I could survive around these people for 16 years, these people out here ain't nothing to me. So I know how to de-escalate some stuff and walk away. It's real easy to de-escalate and walk away. And a lot of people don't want to do that. And as a result, a MARTA bus driver lost his life. You know what I'm saying? Earlier this year. And I could just visualize that whole situation. But contrary to what happened earlier this year, 2 weeks ago, a bus driver down in Miami, he had his firearm with him, and he sent 2 people to the next life. Now, I don't know the circumstances of the case, but we do have a little bit of video footage that we'll check out. That's not it. Let me see. Let me see. Let's go to here. Yeah, here it is right here. Okay. Big screen.
Now to a crime alert in Miami Gardens after a bus driver shot and killed 2 men during a fight on a Miami-Dade transit bus. Local 10's Terrell Fournay is joining us live from Miami Gardens with the latest on the investigation. Terrell.
And there were passengers on board that bus when all of it happened here at Northwest 183rd Street and 7th Avenue, most of them turning into eyewitnesses. And detectives have been interviewing these individuals one by one to get a better understanding of what actually happened. This is the Miami-Dade transit bus at the center of a crime scene Sunday, all after a double shooting that police say involved the driver of that county bus.
We know that the transit bus driver fired his weapons, and in results of that, 2 victims were transported to Aventura Hospital. Shortly after, both victims were pronounced deceased.
The shooting victims were apparently passengers, and at some point there was a fight on board that bus. It's unclear what specifically prompted the driver to pull out the gun and fire. The incident happened around 3 a.m. on Northwest 183rd Street and 7th Avenue in Miami Gardens. Police radio transmissions reveal that the driver called 911 himself at some point during the disturbance.
Number 234 at the bus stop, 183 Northwest 7th Avenue. It's a violent dispute. One is on a bus now. Now the driver's calling 911.
Police and paramedics rushed in, first airlifting the victims, then securing the scene. We know investigators spent hours collecting evidence from the bus and a nearby bus stop, and also interviewing the driver, who was detained for questioning right after the deadly double shooting. Excuse me. So it's unclear if that driver will face any charges as a result of this. But literally just moments ago, we spoke with a passenger who was on the bus when all of it happens. According to that passenger, he says that the dispute started when the driver refused to let a man board with what he perceived to be a stolen bike. Things at some point escalated. Some threats were made against that driver, and that driver pulled out a gun and fired 6 shots, hitting the guy who tried to board the bus with that stolen bike, alleged stolen bike, according to that passenger. But the second person, according to this passenger, who was hit by bullets was just an innocent bystander sitting in his seat when all of this happened. Certainly a lot of more questions into this situation. And of course, detectives are certainly looking into every aspect of it all. More to come tonight. We are live in Miami Gardens. I'm Terrell Fournay, Local 10 News.
Now to a crime alert in Miami Gardens after a bus driver shot.
Wow. Dang, boy. Hey, a lot. Sometimes you just don't know. That's why that is the reason why, if you don't know why you should walk away and de-escalate from situations and don't fight, that's it right there. You think it because it's a bus driver, it's sweet. And he showed you it wasn't. I think that he will be charged because somebody got innocently hit and killed. He probably will be charged at some point. I don't know what, but just because that guy tried to board the bus with what he thought was a stolen bike, that's not justification to use deadly force. You know, you can only use deadly force if your life is in danger of being taken. Your life is in danger of being taken, or you might suffer some physically bodily damage. And I just don't see it. And that's in most places in the country. And I just don't see that bus driver being able to beat that charge. I believe he's gonna catch it, but who knows, you know. So I stay up to date on that story. But people, man, you got to get a grip of this anger management, man. this anger management is costing people their lives, costing people everything that they built and worked for, man. I'm telling you, I was telling my son, my oldest son, the other day, man, like if people would know how I was in the 90s, you listen, and how I am now, it's just the difference between, I'm still the same person, but the difference is I use my head now. I didn't been to prison. You know what I'm saying? I know what the consequences is for doing something on impulse. You know what I'm saying? It's the few things that need to be looked at in this country is mental health, anger management, emotional intelligence, man. Like, people got to get a grip, man. Stop being willing to throw away your life just because of a quick impulsive decision. Like, it's crazy, man. But short show tonight. My man from Setbacks to Success will be on probably next Thursday night, man. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. This is XconMedia. I appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe if you're on YouTube or now, excuse me, if you're on Facebook or X, you got to come to YouTube to get them comments across, because I can't see the live comments from X. I appreciate people from X tapping in, man. 144 people are looking on X. It's great. That's insane. And 5 people off YouTube and 1 on Facebook, man. So, but I appreciate y'all tapping in, man. And we'll see you.
XconMedia.